In another BBC interview, Keir Starmer was exposed as the liar he is, who always appears to believe he gets away with it. In today's video, we'll watch the interview and discuss why the British public is upset while also reviewing all of the most recent news from across the nation. However, before you do that, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and join our rapidly expanding community. Just a brief note to let you know that we have brand new, Made in Britain Great Again t-shirts in stock. You can purchase them right now at British.com or by clicking the link in the description of today's BBC interview. The Prime Minister cautioned that unexpected events mean he cannot rule out raising taxes, but he refused to rule out further tax raids as Labour's support continues to decline in the polls. Starmer informed the BBC that he has no intention of raising taxes. But cited the COVID-19 epidemic and the conflict in Ukraine as instances of unforeseen world events that would compel him to alter his route. At the end of November, Chancellor Rachel Reeves promised at a Confederation of British Industry (CBI) conference that she would not be returning with additional borrowing or taxes. However, on November 27, when asked to do so by opposition leader KMY Bono during Prime Minister's questions after being pressed on the matter once more, Starmer refused to repeat this pledge. Possess a superior watch, why do you believe that you are so unpopular? Your approval rating is -38. Firstly, I'll be judged at the end of the 5-year term on whether we've delivered what we said we will deliver, and that's all that matters to me. That's what gets me up in the morning, so I came into politics to bring about that change. Second thing I'd say is this, we've inherited real mess and we've decided to take tough decisions to deal with it, to take it head on. That £22 billion black hole in the economy, I wasn't prepared to pretend that it wasn't there, to walk past it to make it feel good, so we took the tough decisions, and that is tough, but we did it early, and I think anybody watching who's run a business, run an organization will know, or even decorated their house, if there's a tough job to do, you know it's got to be done. Better off getting on and doing it, cause things will be better on it. Can you say in the clearest possible terms whether from here on in to the end of your term there will be any tax rises? And I'm talking about to business, to national insurance. Order people's tax, will there be any? So we took really tough decisions in the budget, and we did them early, and we stabilized the economy, and that was tough, and I don't want to in any way suggest that we're going to keep coming back for more, because that isn't the plan. That isn't no more tax rises. So we did the tough stuff in order to stabilize, because what individuals and particularly businesses have said to me is, look, do the tough stuff, but then we need the degree of certainty. We need to know that things aren't going to materially change, so that's the approach we've taken. What I can't do is say to you there are no circumstances unforeseen in the future that wouldn't lead to any change at all, because if you just look at COVID and the Ukraine situation, everybody knows there are things that we can't see now, but I can tell you our intention was to do the tough stuff in that budget and not to keep coming back, to stabilize so businesses could know, well, look, you know it's tough but fair, but at least we know now with certainty, and we can plan. That's the mindset that we brought. This is how people reacted. John stated, I counted the world tough 10 times. His weary, old talking point was spot on regarding economic development and confidence. Harris claimed that unanticipated events, such as a £20 billion hypothetical black hole, can catch all turkeys. Tim suggested giving him a JCB so he could continue to dig himself a deeper hole. What unnatural circumstances would need another tax increase? Wouldn't the money he saved by freezing the elderly cover it? James stated that he has no intention of having to relaunch his government after 5 months or deny retirees access to the WFA. He is also very certain that he and Rachel will be digging into our pockets once more when he gives in to the next strike. Jen stated, no, but yes, but no, but perhaps you could share your ideas on this with me in the comments section of another news article. According to a top British defence official, Britain is currently engaged in a war for its national survival. Vice Marshal Sean Bell's scathing assessment, chief as Russia's victories fast-track on the battlefield in Ukraine, comes just hours after President Vladimir Putin charged that the West was intentionally escalating the war in Ukraine, a situation of particular concern within the European region. Western nations are intentionally raising tensions. They are to blame for the current disaster and will keep making matters worse. According to TASS, Russia's state news agency, Putin told a meeting of the Supreme State Council of the Union State of Russia and Belarus that such a careless policy is bringing the world to the verge of a global conflict. He also added that Putin will feel emboldened at the moment as he makes his largest territorial gains in Ukraine. Since the start of the war, Russian forces are advancing at key points along the 1,000 kilometers front line, particularly in the Donetsk region to the east. Here they've made notable progress towards Pokrov and Kurakova. Both important strategic hubs. Advances have also been noted near Velik Nova Silka and Tetk, where Russian troops have pushed forward, indicating a multi-pronged approach to encircle and control more of the Donetsk area. Additionally, there's activity around Kupiansk in the Kyiv region, although the gains there are more contested, with Ukrainian forces is also making counter-moves. In the military analyst's opinion, we do not have the building blocks to repel and attack, as we have all of a sudden gone from wars of choice, expeditionary warfare where we take our forces overseas and get involved where and when we want, to wars of national survival. Although Bell describes this shift in Britain's defensive posture as sudden, he tells that it is 35 years in the making. He attributes the decline in military spending to the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991, which marked the end of the Cold War. Because we didn't perceive a threat for the last 35 years, we didn't pay for the capabilities. The air, Bell said. Vice Marshal remembers his time spent at Rafton Heath, his former flying train base. From 1983 to 1989, the Lincolnshire site housed Bristol Bloodhound surface-to-air SAM missiles, the UK's primary air defence weapon, which is no longer in operation or currently being invested in for deployment by the UK. The RAF retired. The British Army's full-time strength was reported to be around 72,500 personnel by 2024, which marks a significant decrease from the end of the Cold War. The numbers indicate a reduction of more than half since the early 1990s. This downsizing was part of the broader peace dividend mentality, where military expenditures were cut due to the perceived decrease in global threats. The Bloodhound in 1991 saw the end of its operational role against high-flying bombers, with the dissolution of the Soviet Union marking the end of its operational role against high-flying bombers. Britain has pledged to raise its military spending since the conclusion of the Cold War. As the largest boost to the UK's national defence in a generation, former Prime Minister Rishi Sunak proposed a proposal to raise defence spending to 2.5% of GDP by 2030. This investment is desperately required. According to recent assessments, the UK's defence capabilities, especially air defence and coastline defence, are quite limited, and in a major fight, the full British Army may only be there for 6 months to a year. If you haven't already, please make sure to like this video and let me know what you think about the topics we covered in today's video in the comments box below. For more British political content, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you, and be careful. Goodbye.